Hi team, I am coming to you a week early because when I typically do my videos, I am going to be in Branson celebrating Ben's belated birthday. So I hope you all are having a great week. The forecast right now has it looking very cold, and if it is that cold, I hope you're all staying very warm. Okay, so this week for announcements, we have Nerf and Nachos, which was also announced last week, and then we also have Casey Camp Reminder. The volunteer registration is going to be coming out very soon, if it's not already out there, and then camper registration starts March 23rd, and then it's open to the public April 1st. So just be really talking that up with your kids. The 5th graders will get to be volunteers this year, and then they can do after party with student ministries, and then the 4th graders will be the oldest campers. So that is what we have for announcements. This week we have our very own David Hong teaching us. So thank you, David, for stepping up and teaching the lesson this week. And the lesson is on Jesus and the Pharisees. From Matthew 23 and Psalm 51:10, God, create a pure heart in me, give me a new spirit that is faithful to you, is our memory verse. So for activities this week, you have... First of all, it's called imitators, and you're supposed to have the kids pair up, and one kid needs to be the follower and one kid needs to be the leader. And the follower is trying to watch the leader and mimic the leader as closely as possible so that nobody can tell who's the follower and who's the leader. And then you have all the other kids watch and see if they can identify who the leader is and who the follower is. And then at the end, it's just one of the ways that we can have a pure heart is by imitating the one and only person who does have a completely pure heart, which is Jesus. And then talk about what is one way that they can imitate or be like Jesus this week. And then also talk about how we can act like the Pharisees and act one way while people are looking, and another way when no one is around, and then have them share times when this has happened to them, or maybe share a time when this has happened to you. So that they can have some conversation around that. And then the memory verse activity this week is slap bracelets. They're supposed to decorate their slap bracelet with the memory verse and however they want to decorate it. The activity actually has them slapping the bracelets on the person next to them. I would probably advise against that, especially with the boys. You might be able to get away with it with the girls if they have a good relationship, but with the boys, I feel like that could be get a little bit crazy and somebody could be unhappy. With how that turns out. But they're supposed to stand in a circle, and then every time they say a word of the memory verse, they slap the bracelet onto the person next to them. So you could just have them slap it onto themselves, or anyways, they're just supposed to stand in a circle and say the verse one at a time until they say the whole thing by memory. And then there's a question that goes along with the memory verse activity as well. And then finally, picture prayers. You give them markers and a piece of paper, and they can draw out what their prayer is, and then they can share it with the group, and you can all pray together. So that's the simplified version of how that one goes. So you can elaborate on it if you wish, or you can just do the simplified version, which is what I just gave you. I think that's everything. If I missed something, I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm a week ahead of time. So if things change, I will be there and we can work through it together. So also, we will probably have a meeting about the tabernacle soon, just briefly after service in the next few weeks, so that we can touch base and make sure that everybody's on the same page, because we will jump into that right after spring break. So, okay, have a great week. Talk to you soon.